days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
So some of you may have heard Donald Trump's running mate deliver remarks at the Republican National Convention. He talked about his life story about growing up in Southwest Ohio, and it was compelling. It's a compelling story. And it was not the full story. Frankly, what is very telling is what he did not talk about on that stage. He did not talk about Project 2025, their 900-page blueprint for a second Trump term. He did not talk about it because their plans are extreme and they are divisive. In recent days, they've been trying to portray themselves as the party of unity. But here's the thing. If you claim to stand for unity, you need to do more than just use the word. You cannot claim you stand for unity if you are pushing an agenda that deprives whole groups of Americans of basic freedoms, opportunity, and dignity.
That's right. That's Vice President, soon to be the nominee for the presidential, the Democratic presidential nominee, soon to be Vice President Harris. She was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, giving a speech to the people. As we know now, Joe Biden has bowed out and has put his full endorsement behind Kamala Harris, as has everyone, from Gretchen Whitmer to Gavin Newsom, and everyone thinking Gavin Newsom should be on a ticket. Please look at the Electoral College map. This is math. He's from California. She's from California. You don't put two people from California on a ticket. It's not smart. You're already going to get California. He does not add anything to the ticket. Please use your brains. Gretchen Whitmer, great. Two women on a ticket? Do you think, yes, we need Michigan. Is that going to work in this country? Come on, y'all. Let's have a little less emotion. Let me introduce you to Kamala Harris. Of course, she is. She said this about her mother. She said, "My mother was very intentional about raising my sister Maya and me as strong Black women." For those of you questioning how she identifies, unlike Amber Rose, who doesn't identify as Black, she identifies as a Black woman. My mother, she said, raised us. She coupled her teachings of civic duty and fearlessness with actions, which included taking us on Thursday nights to Rainbow Sign, a Black cultural center near our home. You know, she grew up in Oakland in the wake of the Black Panther Party, which her mother was also involved with the food, giving food to children and things like that. She said we were always greeted with warm hugs and exposed to extraordinary people like Shirley Chisholm, Nina Simone, and Maya Angelou, who helped show us what we could become. This was from Black History Month that she posted on her Twitter. I want to lift up my mother and the community at Rainbow Sign who taught us anything was possible, unburdened by what has been. This is the home and the foundation upon which Kamala Harris was raised, which led her to Howard University. Howard University, she's a Bison, HU. Come on, y'all. She studied there, went to law school in 2017. She was sworn in. She graduated from law school, passed the bar. Those not qualified, she at least did that, right? 2017, sworn into the United States Senate, where she championed legislation to fight hunger, provide rent relief. She improved maternal health care, which she still carries forward as vice president, expanded access to capital for small businesses, which she's still doing. We just talked to Tiffany Aliche, and several others have been to meet with the vice president around the issue of small businesses and giving more resources to small businesses, especially Black-owned, especially women-owned. She helped revitalize America's infrastructure and combat climate crisis. We also know she was on the judiciary. We saw her grill several Supreme Court justices, and she was the deciding vote. She had to break a tie for Ketanji Brown Jackson to become a United States Supreme Court. 2021, sworn in as vice president, first woman of Asian descent as well. She also served on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. So those who don't, she's not qualified. She was on those committees to keep American people safe. She helped craft bipartisan legislation to assist in securing American elections as well. As president in the Senate, she set a record for the most tie-breaking votes. As vice president, the most tie-breaking votes cast by a vice president in history, surpassing a record that stood for 200 years. 2010, she was elected Attorney General of California, where she oversaw the largest state justice department in the country, the largest in the country. Yes, she was a cop, I guess, Well, what was her job? And everybody talking about she locked up Black people. Stop it. She took on those who were preying on American people. She won a $20 billion settlement for Californians as Attorney General, whose homes had been foreclosed on. She had a $1.1 billion settlement for students and veterans. She oversaw that, who were taken advantage of by nonprofit education companies, I'm sure like Trump U. She also defended the Affordable Care Act, which a lot of people, a lot of states, a lot of the states in our union didn't even want to have Obamacare, but she defended it in court for Californians to have health care. And she enforced environmental laws. In 2004, Harris was elected district attorney of San Francisco, where she was a national leader in the movement for LGBTQIA rights, officiating the first same-sex wedding after Prop 8 was overturned. That's in San Francisco. She also established the office's environmental justice unit. So she's been doing this work for a while. She created a groundbreaking program to provide first-time drug offenders with the opportunity to earn a high school degree and find employment, which the United States Department of Justice designated as a national model of innovation for law enforcement. She did that. And in 1990, she was part of the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, where she specialized in prosecuting child sexual assault cases. So a lot of these things that Trump has been accused of is personal for her. This is how she started her career when she got into law. So, she's not qualified. She was vice president for the last 4 years, 3+ years. So she got a bird's eye view of what the office looks like. And if you think Joe Biden was diminished, who do you think was running the country? So, yeah, we got a lot to consider. Pam Keith is here. But you should know her. And don't let people talk greasy, because they're doing a lot of nasty things. It's going to be very vicious. They're going to be doing a lot of nasty things. Going to bring up all of her history from when she was in her 20s and 30s. Really, if you have done nothing as a young person that you should be just moderately embarrassed by, good for you. Most of us have done some things we wish we hadn't done in our 20s and 30s. The woman's 59 years old. You are not going to hang on this woman what she did in her 20s and 30s. And I think it's going to backfire, Pam. I think all of the sexual stuff that they're coming out with is actually going to backfire, because that's all you got.
Yeah, and the problem is, it always stands in contrast. If you're going to try to bring up her personal comportment, she's running against Caligula. So
don't give him that much credit. Caligula was a good leader. No, just compared to Trump.
I mean,
I saw the movie.
She's running against an adjudicated rapist whose name is peppered all over Jeffrey Epstein's documents, who has a propensity to approach extremely underaged young women. So if they want to talk about sexual activity, I say, let's do. Let's go.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in. just what I needed. You're the closest.